History is more than just dates. It's a rich tapestry woven with courage, sacrifice, and the enduring spirit of humanity. Some stories shine so brightly that they become eternal beacons for all of humanity, guiding us through darkness. Imam Hussain. Ibn Ali's story is one such luminous thread, a universal symbol of justice and hope against tyranny. His life was a masterclass in compassion, unwavering integrity, and the courage to speak truth to power, no matter the cost. To truly understand his legacy, we must explore the journey that led him to a defining moment on a desolate plain in Iraq. A moment that forever marked the struggle between right and wrong. His story is not just history, it's a living inspiration, reminding us that the human spirit, fortified by faith and hope, can achieve victories that time cannot erase. In Medina, 626 AD, Hussein was born into the heart of Islam, the beloved grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Raised in an environment of piety and wisdom, Hussein absorbed the Prophet's teachings firsthand. The Prophet's love for Hussein was legendary. He declared, "Hussein is from me, and I am from Hussein." Through these bonds, Hussein learned compassion, justice, and the true meaning of leadership service, not authority. In the Prophet's household, fairness and empathy were daily practices shaping Hussein's unshakable sense of right and wrong. He inherited the courage of his father Ali, the compassion of his mother Fatima, and the wisdom of his grandfather. These values became the foundation of his character and the legacy he would leave for generations. As Hussein matured, his integrity and steadfastness became legendary. He lived simply, serving his community and never seeking power. His influence came from moral authority. Hussein's commitment to justice was absolute. He spoke out against oppression, guided by conscience and faith. Compassion defined him. He cared for the poor, listened to the vulnerable, and extended empathy to all. His leadership was rooted in service and justice, not dominance. These qualities made him beloved by the people and a formidable obstacle to those who sought to corrupt Islam. Hussein's unwavering adherence to his values set him on a collision course with tyranny. He became the living embodiment of the principles he cherished, ready to defend them at any cost. The rise of Yazid ibn Muawiyah marked a dark and troubling turn in Islamic history. His rule threatened the very soul and moral foundation of Islam. Yazid's ascension was not just a political shift, it was a moment that sent shockwaves through the Muslim world, raising questions about justice, leadership, and the future of the faith. Determined to secure his authority, Yazid demanded Imam Hussein's allegiance, seeking to legitimize his corrupt regime and silence any opposition. This demand was not merely a formality, it was a test of loyalty, a challenge to the very principles that Hussein and his family stood for. For Hussein, this was an impossible demand. To comply would betray his faith, his conscience, and the legacy of his grandfather, Prophet Muhammad. The weight of this decision pressed heavily upon him, as he knew the consequences would be dire. With unwavering resolve, he declared, "A person like me can never pledge allegiance to a person like him." These words were not just a refusal, they were a bold stand for truth and justice, echoing the values of Islam itself. Forced to leave Medina, Hussein set out on a perilous journey toward Kufa, answering the desperate call of the oppressed who sought his guidance and leadership. The journey was long and arduous, crossing harsh deserts and uncertain lands, but Hussein's determination never wavered. Yet, as Yazid's threat spread, the promises of support from Kufa quickly collapsed. Fear and intimidation gripped the people, and one by one they withdrew their pledges, leaving Hussein and his small band of followers isolated and vulnerable. Intercepted by Yazid's army, Hussein and his companions were trapped on the scorching plains of Karbala, cut off from water and surrounded by overwhelming forces. The situation grew increasingly dire, as hope faded and the reality of their isolation set in. At this crossroads, Hussein faced a stark choice: submit to tyranny and injustice, or stand for truth and righteousness, no matter the cost. His decision would shape the destiny of generations to come. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo through history, inspiring countless people to stand against oppression and uphold the values of justice, sacrifice, and unwavering faith. On the vast, windswept plains of Karbala in 680 AD, a small group led by Hussein ibn Ali, just 72 companions, stood courageously against an overwhelming army of thousands. The odds were insurmountable, yet their determination was unbreakable. Denied even the most basic necessity, water, and suffering under the relentless desert sun, Hussein's resolve never wavered. The thirst was unbearable, the heat merciless, but their faith and commitment to justice only grew stronger with each passing hour. Hussein was offered safety if he would pledge allegiance to tyranny, but he refused every offer. He chose principle over survival, standing firm in the face of threats and temptation, knowing that true honor lies in upholding what is right, even at great personal cost. On the day of Ashura, his companions, family, friends, and loyal followers fought not for glory or conquest, but for truth and justice. Their unity and courage in the face of certain death became a symbol of unwavering faith. Hussein's final moments were marked by dignity and grace. Even after witnessing the unimaginable loss of his loved ones, he stood firm, embodying patience and resilience in the face of overwhelming sorrow. In a moment of heartbreaking humanity, he pleaded for water for his infant son, but his appeals were met with cruelty and indifference. The suffering of the innocent only deepened the tragedy, yet Hussein's compassion never faltered. Though Hussein fell on the battlefield, his sacrifice became a victory of the spirit. He proved that justice and truth, once ignited, cannot be extinguished by force or oppression. The tragedy of Karbala became a sermon in blood, echoing through the ages. It taught the world that true success lies not in worldly triumph, but in upholding one's principles, even in the face of certain defeat. The sacrifice of Hussein and his companions created an eternal legacy. Their story continues to inspire generations, reminding us all to choose righteousness over submission and to stand for justice, no matter the cost. Imam Hussein's message did not die at Karbala, it became a universal call for justice. Every day is Ashura and every land is Karbala reminds us that the struggle for truth is ongoing. The Arba'een pilgrimage, with millions walking to Karbala, is a living testament to his enduring legacy. In 2024, over 21 million pilgrims, many in solidarity with Palestine, renewed their commitment to Hussein's principles. His sacrifice inspires people worldwide to confront injustice, from activists to ordinary individuals. Hussein's story emboldens us to stand for truth even when alone. Modern acts of courage, protests, speaking out, or quiet defiance draw from his example. His legacy proves that true power lies in the courage of a conscience committed to justice. Imam Hussein's life and martyrdom offer a timeless lesson for all humanity. His story is not confined to a single era or community. It echoes across centuries, resonating with people of all backgrounds who yearn for justice, dignity, and truth. The courage he displayed in the face of overwhelming odds continues to inspire countless hearts, reminding us that the struggle for what is right is a universal calling. His journey, from the Prophet's embrace to Karbala, was a testament to living with purpose and conviction. Every step he took was guided by unwavering faith and a deep sense of responsibility to uphold moral values, even when the path was fraught with danger and uncertainty. Hussein's resolve teaches us that true leadership is rooted in compassion and a willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. He showed that some principles are worth defending with one's life. Hussein's stand at Karbala was not just a battle, it was a declaration that integrity, justice, and truth must never be compromised, no matter the cost. His example urges us to reflect on our own values and to find the strength to defend them, even when we stand alone. In a world still plagued by injustice, his legacy is a call to challenge tyranny and stand with the oppressed. The message of Karbala transcends borders and generations, urging us to speak out against cruelty and to support those who suffer. Hussein's sacrifice is a beacon for all who seek to build a more just and compassionate world. The millions who commemorate his sacrifice each year are not just remembering, they are renewing a pledge to justice and compassion. Through their gatherings, prayers, and acts of kindness, they keep his spirit alive, transforming grief into hope and remembrance into action. This collective memory binds communities together and inspires new generations to carry the torch forward. Hussein's story transforms history into a living force for positive change. His legacy is not just a chapter in the past, but a living movement that motivates people to serve others, to stand up for what is right, and to build bridges of understanding and empathy. Let us carry his example in our hearts, finding the courage to stand for truth and the integrity to live with honor. By uniting in the spirit of Hussein, we can overcome divisions and create a world where justice and compassion prevail. His sacrifice planted a seed in Karbala. It is our duty to nurture its mighty tree of inspiration for generations to come. May we honor his memory not only in words but through our actions, ensuring that the values he lived and died for continue to flourish in every corner of the world.